Welcome to the Nerd Syrup 2.0, and we're here to talk about the Essen Spiel and the games that we are looking forward to because we're kind of in the know. We've been studying, we've been researching for months, and we have narrowed down some top 5-ish lists for you. We are going to run through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lists. They will be kids games, small games, totally off the radar, like no Doppler effect here games, heavy games, expansions, and then our personal want games, some of which I have pre-ordered already, and that Daryl will be grabbing at Essen because, Daryl, you're going to Essen.
That's right. I'm going to Essen. I'm wearing my Essen hat. I won't wear this every day, but it's got the E. And so some people think this stands for Essen. It actually stands for Spain in Espanol. But yeah. That's close, isn't it?
It's in Essen, Espanol.
Yeah, I've never been to Essen, so I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Spain and try to find it. So and maybe I'll have a good time, maybe not. But before I rattle on too long, we got to get into this action because we got a lot to go through. So let's start with top 5 kid/family games. Games that you could play with your niece or nephew. Something like that. So let's start with our number 5. What do you got for 5, Stephanie?
You go first.
I go first. All right. So my number 5 is Poseidon's Kingdom by the brothers Gordon and Fraser Lamont from Fragger Games, being republished by Game Salute. It came out in 2011, but it's being remade, and it has the most cute surf thing that you place dice on, and then you turn the wave, and the wave after you add so many dice crashes over, and the dice get thrown.
I like it.
So
kids love throwing dice.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So that's Poseidon's Kingdom, and it used to be super hard to get. It would sell for over $100 on the used market.
Wow! There's a ton of reprint games being reborn. We're seeing a lot of that. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Totally. What do you have for number 5 for top family game?
Ralph und Runter by Ravensburger. This is a roll, spin, and move game for kids 5 and up. 20 to 25 minutes, 2 to 4 players, and you are playing meerkats.
There you go. Roll and move and spin. That sounds like a family game for sure.
Yeah.
So well done.
So you have to kind of not have your meerkat fall off because you're actually really spinning your meerkat. So you're going to visit all these locations with your meerkat. First person to each of the corners wins. Looks super cute. Yeah. All
right. Well, what's your number 4?
You go.
All right. Well, I'm going to cheat here, and I'm actually going to say 2 for this number 4.
Okay.
Because they kind of share a commonality, and that is Star Wars Quirkle and Star Wars Carcassonne. Not the same publisher. Obviously, Quirkle designed by Susan McKinley Ross, and is with Schmidt Spiel, and Carcassonne with Z-Man, or really Hans and Gluck originally. But I'm loving all the Star Wars branded games coming out that are family friendly. So got to give a shout out for Star Wars Quirkle and Star Wars Carcassonne.
Nice. I have this game looked adorable. It had almost no information about it. I couldn't find any pictures.
I count on you picking adorable.
Yeah, it is adorable. It says it's for 8 and up, but I feel like you can go lower with this. It's called Cloud Nose. It's by
cute.
It's by designer Jesse Lee, and the publisher is 2 Plus Games. It's for 3 to 6 players. It says 8 and up again, but I feel like you could go lower. Playing time 10 to 20 minutes, so don't need a long attention span. Deduction and puzzles. So one person is playing the role of a cloud, and then the other people are kind of trying to guess the cloud shapes by hints.
Yep.
And I guess they're they have to express the answers through wind is what they're using.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, and there's like little like quizzes and stuff like that or something. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and there's some pattern recognition, which makes sense for clouds. But yeah, it looks super cute, and I love the idea of looking at clouds and making shapes out of them. So
that's perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Well, okay, here comes my stretch. First of all, disclaimer, I don't have kids, so don't worry about my kids when I announce this game, because some of you may be concerned about my kids, and you should be concerned about my future kids. But I'm going to pick for number 3 of kid/family game, Mafia de Cuba.
It's so good
because it's so cute, and like you could totally get into it with no matter what ages. And it's this little like cigar box with little props inside that you give out, and yeah. So that's my number 3. I'm sorry for everyone out there that's concerned that I will play Mafia games with children, but sorry, they got to learn from a young age.
Just call it something else, you know.
Yeah.
So
Mafia is a good thing.
Yeah,
it's like the government.
You tell them it's like a foreign like word or something, whatever. Just lie to them. I feel like
that's like the Italian police.
That's a good thing you should do. Is just go ahead and lie to your kids. So there's another one. So this one you can actually play. It's sort of a reimagined version of something that already exists and is awesome, but it's specifically themed for kids. It's Time's Up Kids. So
nice call.
Kids can obviously already play Time's Up, but this one has probably some things that are more easily recognizable for them, because you might have to kind of tailor your regular Time's Up cards to take out those references that they'll have no idea with. And it says 4 and up. So
that's incredible.
I'm imagining that these cards are pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that, because Time's Up is one of the greatest party games.
Yeah,
from R&R Games, and that was super smart of them to think of doing a kids version of that game. It's
almost like, why was that never done before now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did no one think of that?
No brainer. All right. Yeah. Well, my number 2 for top 5 kids games coming out at Essen, I'm gonna have to go with Karuba, coming designed by Rudiger Dorn forever.
Dorn forever.
And coming out from Haba, which we always know and trust for kids games, but they're actually kind of taking these games that are a little more meaty, a little more family. And so this game is actually supposed to take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do I have? I didn't have. You go again. Do another one.
You don't have a number 2?
I mean, I kind of do, but
say it.
You go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump and say my number 1 as well, because it's actually quite related. It's another one coming up by Haba, but it's in this kind of new niche they're doing, where it's like when your kids are a little older and you're looking for a little more game. This one's supposed to take about 45 minutes. It's coming out by my favorite design duo, Kramer and Kiesling, and they're doing Adventureland. So I have never seen Kramer and Kiesling do a kids game. They're a couple of my favorite designers. They are going to show up again on this list, and Adventureland is, my number 1 family-friendly recommendation. So what do you say then?
I think Time's Up is really like my number 1, but I do have another one. It's being published by R&R Games, designed by Stephen Glenn, and it's Gobblestones.
We
actually might have wanted to talk about, I think, in our Gen Con thing, but we didn't end up talking about. Or did we end up talking about it?
No, we didn't talk about it.
Okay, we didn't talk about it. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I was like, yeah, I think that we haven't talked about it, and that one I think is going to tile placement.
I totally missed that on my list, and
it's probably for a little bit older, like
that family sweet spot. So yeah. I love it. That's a great one. All right, so next in our top 5, we're going to go to small games, and I found this quite difficult to keep to just 5.
Yeah.
So I may have a few honorable mentions at the end of this, but why don't we start with you with your number 5?
Mine are just crazy. Okay, number 5, I will say, is Dice City. by AEG. And I actually, I don't know if I know they had this, like Board Game Geek TV previewed this at Gen
Yep.
Con, but I don't know if
I never saw it.
I was going to say,
to
I don't know if people were playing it or anything like
I
that.
never saw it, and I've been wanting to try it.
Yeah, so this is for actually 1 to 4 players. There is a solo mode, and it's dice rolling and worker placement, and you have this big board and these dice and kind of, depending on what you roll, you place your dice out and you get certain resources like wood and stone and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting. It's like you wouldn't imagine just the way that it looks that it's a worker placement game. And they also call it like a dice crafting game.
Ooh,
right?
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, it sounds super fancy. So
I noticed, actually, I just noticed now, a lot of mine are 2-player only games. So maybe that's something to do with small games being 2-player games as well. But my number 5, I'm actually getting a sneak preview of this weekend, and that is Daxu from J. Alex Cavern and published by White Goblin. And I'm going to actually try it on Saturday because an advanced copy is coming down to Grand Con. So I'm very excited to give that a try.
Cool. Yeah, I actually, that should be on my list because I'm looking forward to that too.
It looks awesome, and I've never played a game I have not liked by Alex. So
yeah, I agree. He's such a genius, like crazy.
Yep. So number 4.
My number 4 is by Z-Man Games, small little known publisher. Castellion.
Ayo.
The designer is I don't know if I'm saying this right. Shadi Torbay.
That sounded pretty good.
Yeah. So and this is for 1 to 2 players. And you lay tiles that are parts of castles, and it's a little bit of like you're going to defend these monsters, and you have to choose if you want to use that tile as the power that it is to like defend and do stuff, or if you want to use it to build up your castle. So I don't know exactly how it works. Yeah, but I'm assuming that like some of your castle might kind of like get knocked down, and then maybe you need to decide like, do I need extra defense or do I need like more castle?
Sure. Oh, and that's part of the Omniron or something series.
The Omniverse.
Omniverse, yeah. There you go. So really unique, kind of cool, stylized art.
Yeah.
Really, anyone who has one of them, you're gonna have to get them all. So
yeah.
That the game collector in all of us. So
yeah.
Mine, another 2-player. It's from Lookout Games, designed by Uwe Rosenberg, and that is Hengist. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hengist. It looks. What's that?
I said, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But what I'm in love with, obviously, first of all, it's a card game by Uwe, so I'm sure it's great. But the other thing is it's set in England, and I love all things set in England. So that is my number 4.
So we are on my number 3.
Number 3.
Is that right?
That is
right. I picked by Bomba Games, Witkacy.
I don't know about this game.
Witkacy. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the designer's name. So it's 2 designers. They seem really cool. 2 to 4 players. And so in this one, you're restoring copies of paintings.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so you have to get the right fragments, and you're going to use certain parts of cards and kind of put them together.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds totally cool.
So a little bit of pattern building and set collection. It just looks really cool, and it makes me think of that one painting that I think that everybody probably knows what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Do I want to know?
Maybe. Okay. Well, there was like a woman that restored a painting fairly recently, like in the past like 3 years or something like that, and she did a very terrible job.
Oh.
And it's like a religious related painting.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, it makes me think of.
She needed to play this game a few more times and build up those skills.
Yeah, for sure.
So that mistake never happens again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 3 is designed by Alexander Pfister. He's the designer of Broom Service and a few other wonderful games, and he's actually going to show up on my list again. Actually, he might be kind of one of my more new favorite designers, but he has a card game for 2 to 4 players, plays about 30 minutes, and it's called Royal Goods. And so I'm under the impression it's actually just a limited release at Essen only. And so I'm gonna try to track down. That might be the one copy of a game that I buy for myself and put in my pocket.
It might be the one copy, the game that you buy 2 copies of, and to bring for your Essen friend.
That's awkward. Maybe.
Me?
Number 2.
This is kind of a shocker. Cardline Marvel. It's being published by Asmodee.
Really? You want that?
Yeah, I kind of want that. I think it would be cooler if it was, so it's like the other cardline games, so where you're going to pick weight, IQ, and fighting ability.
I'm a little concerned about weight. I don't know if
right?
I feel comfortable asking some female characters their weight, but
or any character really.
No, my mama taught me never to ask a female their weight.
I thought it would have been funnier if it was where they are, if it was kind of more like timeline, where it was where they are in the Marvel timeline, because
absolutely
geeks would be crawling all over themselves to be like, no way,
their first appearance was in blah 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 comic issue 2.4 page 7.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm still looking forward to it, and that's kind of a kids game too.
Yep.
Kids could do that. That's for 2 to 8. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, my number 2, I'm actually surprised it's not my number 1. But the more I thought about it, the more it had to be my number 2. It features a couple of my favorite designers, Bruno Cathala and Antoine Bauza, and that is Seven Wonders Duel. I played it. I loved it, but I'm more excited about my number 1. So this has to be my number 2.
That shows up on my list somewhere later.
Oh.
So my number 1 is also Bruno Cathala, and it's Haru Ichiban. By BlackRock Games. It's 2 players only, and this game just looked super cool. It's abstract strategy, which I love, and pattern building, and your apprentice gardeners competing to use the wind to your advantage to create harmonious patterns of blossoms upon lily pads.
You seem really into wind this year.
Tell me, right? I'm really airy. What is that? My sign, I think I'm an air, Gemini. I think I'm air.
So with just the wind.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, but whatever. Listen to that description. You want that game now.
That is a killer description. You got me interested. Yeah, I am interested. But I'm going to come back with my number 1, who's also been designed by Bruno Cathala and also Bruno Faduti, and that is Raptor, a 2-player only game coming out by Madagot, and it looks awesome. I've been actually following because Faduti has a blog that I regularly read, and he's been talking about Raptor for the last year, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it after kind of having windows into its design progression.
Right.
So I'm excited about that.
Cool.
All right, so what's our next category?
Totally off that radar.
Nice.
Totally. Do you want to do your 5 first on this one?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, can we give a shout out? Oh, actually, before we go there, did you have any that you didn't mention? Any honorable mentions for the small games?
I have some. I'm not sure if they're small or not. Favor of the Pharaoh.
Okay, a little bigger, but yeah, it's in there.
That's not really, but it wasn't really heavy either, so
no,
I didn't know where
that's it. That's there. That's small.
Kind of put that in there. So that one looked kind of cool, and then Concilio de Quattro.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna list a few just to give a shout out. They maybe will pop up maybe on Stephanie's list somewhere else. One that's that I I'm curious about is Gum Gum Machine. It's this Stefan Dora game, Hooch and Friends, where you make different gum. And one that I have a good feeling, but maybe I'm wrong, that might show up on Stephanie's list is And Then We Held Hands. Does that maybe?
I don't know.
All right, sweet. I hope so. That was on my list. There's a game, a couple card games. There's one called Schuss und Tor, which is a soccer trick-taking game from Lookout Games, and Flock from AEG, which is a bird game that looks cool, and Yet from Yellow, where they have really cute animals in like military uniforms.
Yeah.
And also on the cute side, and I'm really tempted to buy, even though it's in French only, the new copy of For Sale by Yellow looks so good.
Huh.
I hope they do an English version with that art, because I would buy that. So anyway, sorry for the interlude, but let's jump to now our top 5 off the radar.
What's off that radar?
What is off that radar? You go first, because I just babbled for a little bit.
I don't know if this is actually what it is, but it looks like is this a already out or a reprint, but Dr. Congo?
Oh, good call. That's going to show up on my list somewhere else too. That is not a reprint.
Okay. I was like, I don't think it is, but then I thought I saw where it was already available somewhere else, and I
think it was like maybe very limitedly available in Europe.
Okay.
Because I've never actually seen a copy personally.
Yeah, I hadn't either, and I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about it. So this is for 1 to 4 players by Ragnar Brothers. Phil Kendall, Steve Kendall, Gary Dickin are the designers. This is like everything in it, like city building, like action, auction bidding. And it had this really cool thing, a variable phase order. Like, are they just saying like, like, I don't know what that means. Does that mean like my phase order might be different than your phase order?
I think it's kind of Puerto Rico-ish in that like each round's not the same.
Yeah.
Like I might choose something and then everyone else gets to do that, and you might choose something, but we don't all do all of the steps. Like only certain things per round.
Yeah, but it's in like Democratic Republic of Congo, so it's like DR Congo. But I feel like it's Dr. Congo.
Yeah. Oh, I'm super psyched about that. I'll save a few comments for later, but I love that pick.
Okay.
My number 5 is from a Canadian designer and a Canadian publisher who's going to be at Essen, so I'm really excited for them. And that is Steampunk Rally, designed by Orrin Bishop. It did really well on Kickstarter. A first-time designer, and it's just a lot of fun. I think it's off some people's radar. If they didn't see the Kickstarter, they have no idea about it, but it's incredible quality bits. It's super fun. Tons of dice. Think lots of dice, and you're building this really cool contraption of a race machine, and then you're racing against each other on this track, and it's steampunk, and yeah, it's a great
all about
game.
It.
So that's my number 5, Steampunk Rally.
Steampunk Rally.
Steampunk Rally. Check it out. It's going to be good.
So my next one, and this is number 4, is one that you said you actually don't think will end up being featured at Essen, which saddens me. So
I would happily be wrong. Or
maybe I'm excited about it because that means that you guys can't get it and I can't get it. So there. But Aya, AYA, by Act In Games. It's a cooperative game. It just looks so cool. Like, it looks like you have these tiles that look like dominoes, and they're all kind of around, like, set up in this little domino pattern. And I just hope that you get to knock those suckers down.
Yeah. Either I hope you get to knock them down, or I hope you don't, and it's like painstaking.
And you have to sit there and not knock them down.
And the whole thing is basically setting up dominoes, and you're just like, if I knock these down, I lose. I'm eliminated.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Here we go. says at the end of the game, they will fall onto each other, each one toppling the next in a cascade effect to reveal the ultimate number of landscapes and animals and bring back the greatest photos.
I think I saw a little bit of mention of this actually on the Dice Towers Essen preview, which is phenomenal. People should check that out. Obviously, they do amazing work.
I haven't even seen it.
It's 5 videos. It's incredible. But they mentioned that, and it was funny because I forget if it was Sam or Z, but one of them was really turned off of the idea that Domino's was a mechanic, because he was just getting really worked up about that. So that was really quite comical. My number 4, which I believe shows up on your list somewhere else, is Antarctica. Designer is actually pretty well known, Charles Xavier, although I find a lot of people don't know him, but he has like 15 design credits. He was most recently he did the Waka Waka, the totem pole game with Blue Orange, but he has a lot of co-design credits. Anyways, this one really intrigues me. It's coming out by Arctum Verlag, and the whole idea is that you're in Antarctica and the sun's going around melting things, and you only have so much time to do things. Looks kind of like that real classic Euro medium weight game, which is sadly, I feel like disappearing a bit, and hopefully there's maybe a resurgence. So that's my number 4 off the radar, or not on the radar enough, Antarctica.
I feel like medium weight games are kind of coming back. Medium weight Euros are I hope
you're right.
Just now phasing back in. Antarctica I put under my heavy games. So
yeah.
My next one is Heroes.
Number 3.
By Lion Games. Adam Kwapinski is the designer. This is for 2 to 4 players, supposed to be 20 to 30 minutes, so pretty quick. I liked the idea of there being deck pool building, and card drafting, and dice rolling, and grid movement,
all the mechanics. You
and
get
hand
a
management, and
you
partnership,
get a mechanic. You get a
variable player powers, and player elimination.
I think they just went and they said, "What?"
Oh, and real time.
Oh, and real time. No, for reals? Is it real time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The BGG page is just mechanics.
Right. It's all let's just list them all.
Wow.
But yeah, so I don't even know how to play this game, but I've looked at some pictures of it, and there's like a little grid and stuff, and there's dragons.
Playing this game will teach you all games. You will learn
battle using dice to like cast spells, and it looks super cool. So
that is the real copycat game. I think that's the one that accomplished it. Now, my number 3, similar to number 4, is actually a couple designers that are well known, a couple of my favorites. One designer, he actually was the designer for Agizia, Virginio Gigli, and the other one was the designer of Marco Polo and Zolkin, Simone Luciani. But they've come together and made a lookout game called Grand Austria Hotel. And I have not heard anyone talking about it. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to buy that. So I'm hoping I'm calling this right. It is my number 3. I have not played it because it was totally off my radar, but now it is not, and I want it. That's Grand Austria Hotel. I think it's going to be awesome.
Huh. I that one is totally off my radar, so I'm going to have to check that
Designer
one out.
of Zolkin and Marco Polo.
Totally off my radar. It was totally off. Hadn't seen it.
What's your number 2?
Echo, EKO, published by Sit Down. The designer is Henry Kermarek or Henri.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. The pictures are awesome.
Gorgeous. You have these wooden tokens that you're kind of stacking on this sort of beehive, honeycomb looking thing. It's abstract strategy. So this is like my 3rd abstract strategy game that I've said, but it's cool because you're actually, it's like kind of area control. It seems like management too, and abstract.
I love area control,
right? Which fits perfectly with abstract strategy, really. But it looks like the coolest game of checkers that you'll ever see, basically.
Yep.
I don't know that it does not play like checkers. I'm assuming.
No,
But,
I'm assuming not as well. But that looks really good, and I was tempted to put that on my list.
yeah.
My number 2 is titled "The Foreign King." Designer Javier Garcia. Looks like a newer designer. Has a lot of design prototypes listed on BGG, but this game was picked up by the publisher GeoChix, a small kind of designer studio in Venice, Italy, that really cherry picks the best designs around Europe and then helps develop them for years. So this game is one that has had a lot of development and looks really, really solid. So I'm gonna trust.
It's ready.
I'm gonna trust it's ready. So, and just
So.
maybe it's a little off the radar, and people need to know about it. So, check
What
out
we're doing right now.
The Foreign King, Javier Garcia, GeoChix, Italy. Hopefully, it is as good as I think it might be.
I hope all of these are as good as we think they might be.
Yeah,
honestly.
absolutely. So what is your number 1 for Off
My
the
number
Radar?
1 is published by Big Fun Games. The designer is Guan Chi Huang. And the name of it is Chen Huang, Guardian of the City. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly.
You said it perfect. You said it perfect.
Wanted to be respectful and attempt to do that. This also has variable player powers and card drafting. Lots of card drafting. What's the deal? Everyone was like, listen, Seven Wonders Duel is going to be here.
Yeah.
We got to step it up.
We got to step up our drafting.
Right. So this game just looks really cool. I liked the way that some people described it in a couple of previews that I looked at for it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the basis of it, I'm like, I don't know. But Ching Huang is the god that governs the worlds of the living and the dead. So it's kind of like Judgment Day for the dead, and you are like rewarding good people and like punishing evil people. So I'm kind of like, we'll see about the theme. But sure. But just the way that people described it, it seemed like there were some like really unique decisions that you had to make during gameplay. So that is why it's my number 1. And I guess it's not totally off the radar since people are talking about it, but people have only been talking about it here very recently.
Yeah, and not enough. That's the thing. We're bringing stuff up. All right, so my number 1. I actually got to play a copy of this. I'm sad to hear there's not going to be an English release at Essen. There is going to be a French and German release, maybe even Spanish and Japanese, but not English. Don't know why they went there. But I got to play the French version at a Who's Who behind the scenes media event. This one's designed by Nicholas Robert. Publisher is Pearl Games, and it's called The Bloody Inn. And it sounds horrific, but it is horrific in a great way. You have this inn, and you're trying to kill people off, and all this kind of stuff. It's wonderful. The thing that I love the most is all the cards can be used in like 3 or 4 different ways.
Yes,
I love when games do that.
Involved. Yeah. Did they call Carl?
No. This is the real Carl, Nicholas Roberts for real, and this is The Bloody Inn. It's funny. It's got a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. Maybe it's not in English because they don't think we can handle the humor and violence together. But I thought it was hilarious, and so that is my number 1 off the radar that I'm giving a shout out to.
Totes off the radar.
Is there any other off the radars that didn't make the list for you?
This one isn't really that off the radar, but Samara, did you see that one?
I don't even know what that is. That is totally off my radar.
Yeah, it's so off my radar that I'm like,
what is that?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Why did I put that on there? Samara. Oh yes, dude, you gotta look at this picture. It looks so cool. Okay.
Describe it. I'd rather you describe it. That's better.
Okay. It's Corné van Moorsel is the name of the designer.
No. Just describe the picture. I just want the picture described to me and quickly.
The picture is a Super Mario looking man with like some like plans, some like architectural engineering plans, and he's waving and he has a goat next to him.
Of
And
course.
there's a nice little house in the background and some
Yeah.
birds. And he's just looks so great. So
That
the
sounds
only
perfect.
mechanic listed for this game is called time track.
Time trap. That's
Time
beautiful.
track. That's it.
It explains
Just
it.
time track.
I mean, some games they list a whole bunch of mechanics. This game, time trap.
For whatever reason, you're traveling back in time to the settlement called Samara, and then
Okay.
you are leading a group of builders.
That's
For
beautiful.
whatever your reason, you're doing that, and so you have to use, like, your workers have to manage your time in like months, and depending on what you're going to do is going to take certain different amounts of time. And the four things that it says that you can spend time are improving your skills, building houses, getting a new worker, or exercising to become stronger, and going on vacation.
There it is. That's all you got. That's life right there. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, a few of my on the bubble ones that I'm just gonna list them quick because we've got a whole bunch more lists still to go.
Yeah.
I gotta give a shout out for King Chocolate coming out by Mayfair Games. It's technically not coming out until November, but I guess they're gonna have copies there at Essen. But I especially have to give this a shout out because it's designed by my buddy Stefan Alexander, who lives like 15 minutes from my house.
Cool.
Got to play test it a bunch of times, and it is a free economy styled game. So if anyone's played Container, has a little bit of a container feel to it, and it's the chocolate industry. So
I like it.
Really cool game. Really simple. It takes 30 to 60 minutes. Plays 2 to 5 players. But it's I think off a lot of people's radar, and people need to know about that one. A couple others that I want to give a shout out for that were in other reviewers' videos that I didn't know about. When I heard about it, I want to repeat them. One is that Dan King gave a shout out for Inhabit the Earth, which looks Inhabit the Earth was from Joel Eddy. Sorry. A game designed by Richard Breeze, who's the designer of all the Key games, Keyflower, Key Harvest, all that, which I love those Key games. So Inhabit the Earth looks wicked. It's from R&D Games and Hooch and Friends. And then the other one was Dan King gave a shout out for They Came Unseen by Osprey. And it is a game about submarines. And you can be like lower level, and then the other team is ships. And so like one team is ships moving around while the other team is submarines moving around underneath them.
I like it.
I've been wanting to make a submarine game forever. Never cracked it. I hope this game just.
Are you 571 game, Daryl?
Well, so I'm hoping this game just solves it, and I don't have to make that game. So that's a couple shout outs. I have a few others listed that I think are going to come up on Stephanie's list later. But one other thing. Yeah. It's not actually a game, but it's totally off the radar. There's a board game advent calendar coming out. Think about that. It's an advent calendar that you open up, like where you get the chocolate.
Each
thing
will have
is an expansion.
That's pretty cool.
So, like, literally, we're talking expansion cards for all your favorite games.
Wow.
Unique.
I mean, I want more than an advent calendar's worth of that. Like, can we get like
I'm telling
Halloween one?
Look it up. It's crazy. It is 25 amazing games that have each made a unique expansion card so that every day you get this exciting moment of opening it up and getting some cool promo, and that's from Frosted Games.
I want to know.
I love them.
I want to know can we know what the games are before?
Yeah, they are all listed.
All those games lined up so I can play.
They are all listed. I don't want to take too much time because we have so much more to go. Okay. People have to look them up, but they're incredible.
Okay, on to heavy games.
Heavy games.
My number 5 of the heavy.
Number 5
is Among Nobles. The publisher is Among Meeples. Several people designed this game.
All the people.
All the people. The Jensens, the Larsons, the Christensens, and the Andersons. So all the Sens. All of Sen's people.
All of Sen's people. Oh, that's where Sen came from.
Yeah, for sure. He's a noble.
Or a meeple.
Yeah, so this one has, shocker, card drafting and area control. And you are just building your family dynasty in feudal Europe. No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Love it. My number 5, and I think it's really high on other people's lists, is Mule, the board game.
Yep. I did not put that one on there because I was like, come on, everyone's gonna.
Yeah, everyone's putting it on their list. I thought I better put it on my list somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical. I don't know if it's going to be awesome. I want it to be awesome, but it is only number 5 for me. So that is Heike Harju, and it's going to be coming out by Lilliput, one of the publishing partners of Asmodee.
Mm-hmm. I have my number 4 is Through the Ages, a new story of civilization. The way that I want to describe this game, this is by Czech Games Edition of Vlada Chapto.
It looks amazing. I don't know how I forgot this. Oh, it's so obvious.
Yeah. It's kind of like probably the Civ game that I will play at this point. You know, I want to describe this game. I want to be like, hey, do you like code names? You'll love Through the Ages.
Yeah, that's a realistic expectation. It's a realistic expectation.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same kind of game. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it because I like Through the Ages and Roll Through the Ages, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that was my mistake, people. I'm sorry. That should also be on my list, but I screwed up. But I am happy to redeem myself with this number 4 that happened to be on another list already mentioned. That's right, DR Congo.
Yeah, Dr. Congo.
Dr. Congo by the Ragnar Brothers. The reason this came on my radar, and so I couldn't say it there, was because Richard Ham did an amazing video about DR Congo, and he went through it all right, and I fell in love. So Dr. Congo, I think, is one of those games where it actually has a meaningful message and it's a good game. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. My number, what are we on, 3?
Yep.
I love this stuff so bad. I love Shakespeare, and that is my number 3.
Nice.
And
that was one of my off the radars. I was afraid it wasn't gonna, but I'm glad you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm. It's for 1 to 4 players. Love me some solo variants. And you are theater managers, recruiting actors and like costumers and stuff like that. Totally. And assistants and set designers, and putting on a old play, a comedy.
Yep. And probably. I believe it's a first-time designer, Herv Rigel, and where I trust that game is that it's published by Yastari.
Right.
Yastari is just they don't put out a lot of games, so you know when they do, it's legit.
Mm-hmm. It looks really cool. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, but go check it out. There's tile placement and
it looks solid. It looks totally solid. My number 3 is actually the third in a trilogy of games designed by Thomas Spitzer. It's with Quinn Games. It's part of the Coal and Colony games. This one is called Haspelknecht. I don't know how to say that, but Haspelknecht. And I got to play that the earlier 2 games. Gil Hova taught me them in April. I love them. They're meaty. They're a heavy game, and this one looks awesome. And it has a innovative action selection mechanism.
Is it though?
Well, that's what the box says. So I'm excited about that. So that's my number 3 of heavy games. What do you got for number 2, Steph?
I have Ships. Games.
I just want to make sure that was a P.
Ships.
All right.
Ships by some dude called Martin Wallace.
I think he's off the radar.
Yeah, he's off the radar. Ships looks cool. I a little bit picked it because it's Martin Wallace. And I just like the theme of ships and nautical exploration, and for 2 to 4 players.
Yep, it looks like Automobile. The visual of the board.
Yeah,
have you played Automobile? It looks a lot like it.
Yeah, it looks well. Then I'll just replace that. I'll just say Automobile by David Short. We'll just Or
No,
will
no,
we replace it?
no, no. The Automobile by Martin Wallace.
No, it's automobiles. Isn't that coming out at Essen too? By the way?
No. Isn't that an old game?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm
Oh,
saying
you are correct. Yes, you are correct. But David Short's game is coming out at Essen.
correct. I'm
Okay.
just talking
I was
about
like,
Martin
what?
Wallace's.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Martin Wallace's Automobiles. This game looks a lot like. So, who would have thought Martin Wallace games would look alike?
That's
Crazy.
automobile, but yeah.
Automobile, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. I see the confusion. I had an S. I pluralized. I pluralized the title, and no one's ever going to get that confused in the future. So I am a fool. So now that I've fallen onto my sword of foolishness, I'm going to say my number 2 and redeem myself because I am going to name 504 Friedman Freese with 2F, and the North American release will be with Stronghold. And I'm sure everyone's heard about this, but if you haven't, it is literally 504 games in one box.
Literally.
It's there's 9 different variables. You choose which variables you want to play with. You choose 3 of them, so it's 9 times 8 times 7, which equals 504. Different variants of the game.
Checks out.
I have played this game 4 times, I believe. I have enjoyed 3 of them.
You just have 500 more.
Yeah, I only have 500 more to go. And I enjoyed 3 of them immensely. And one of them, we broke the game, which was really fun. And I'm curious if it'll be fixed.
I mean, yeah, how can you honestly play test hardcore all 504?
He tests them all. Like, that's the thing.
I know, but I mean, like, I'm sure he did, but like...
That's the fun part, is that literally we're like a report on his database of one of the variants, and then he changed it, I'm sure. So that's crazy to me. That's my number 2. 504. I'm sure on other people's lists it's super high.
So I'm gonna do 2. It's on my personal want list. Spoiler alert. Oh man. But I had a bunch on there, so we'll just scratch that one off. So I have 2 number 1s. One of them was Antarctica.
Heyo.
So I won't talk about that.
That's a good choice.
But that was really my number 1. But I'm gonna say Food Chain Magnate.
There it is.
Slaughter Watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't get to play this. It was at Gathering. I totally missed it. It looks awesome. Have you seen the art?
Yeah, so that's actually, so they just released it not too long ago, right?
Yes, like, and the art looks awesome.
Cool. Yeah, you're like food truck competitors or whatever, right?
Like old school food chains. Yeah. It looks so cool. So cool. Talking about art, my number 1 for heavy game is The Gallerist. From publisher Eagle Griffin. Vital Lacerda is a designer who also did CO2 and a few other wonderful games. And I have high hopes for this. I'm confident Eagle Griffin will do a wonderful job with the production of it. And so that is my number 1 heavy strategy game coming out at Essen.
Coming out at Essen. We are almost to the end of our list here. We have expansions and then personal wants to go. So
all right, and I
feel like you're just chipping away at my personal wants.
Yeah, so. I'm trying. So what's your?
There's one game that we haven't mentioned yet that is might be on both of our lists though. So
maybe we'll see.
So the
expansions. What's our 5 for
my
expansions?
Number 5 is Coup, Guatemala, 1954, Anarchy.
Nice.
So this one, I'm assuming, adds in some new roles that you can kind of, if you're not familiar with Coup G54, it's basically like everything that you love from Coup that you have loved and played over and over again. But now you can kind of customize and put in different types of roles, and they have categories for each of those roles. So it'll tell you to kind of put in like 2 finance roles, etc. So you're building that game of Coup, but they aren't the exact same roles, and some of them obviously play off of each other differently.
Totally.
It again makes sense to randomize them, but you could totally just pick exactly what you want to put in the game, and
Yep.
that's not a problem. So
I believe I played Guatemala Coup with you at Origins.
we did.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And so you played where we had the broken one, right? It was like the church and something else.
It was awesome broken.
It was so broken. Yeah, but Ruth, she ran it though.
I worked it.
Yeah.
So
you and Ruth both worked it.
Yeah, we did.
So anarchy probably adds in, just a bunch of anarchy, so some new roles. So I'm looking forward to that because I really like Coup G54. So
nice. My number 5. I had so many more than 5. This is really hard for me. So maybe I'll say 2 at a time. Can I say 2 for every time?
Do it, yeah.
Really? Oh yes. Okay. So these aren't really in an order because there's just so many expansions I want. But I'm gonna try to group them. So a couple heavier games coming out with expansions. There is Concordia with Salsa, which is just fun to say, and Eclipse, Shadow of the Rift. So both Concordia and Eclipse coming out with expansions. That's my number 10 or number 5. So what's your number 4?
Nations, Dynasties. I do love me some Nations, and this one's got 12 new ones with Dynasties.
Ba-boom.
Question though, can you, because I've never tried it, can you solo base Nations?
Ooh, I don't know. I've never tried that.
Well, it says that Nations Dynasty is soloable.
Wow.
So
that's interesting. I would play that game.
I don't own a copy of Nations. My friend does, and that's the copy that we've played. But I'm going to check with them and see if you can.
You may need to borrow that.
Right. If you can solo it, I'm all over that. I love that the playing time is like 40 to 200 minutes. But that's so true. Also, and I don't care. I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Fine with it.
My number 4. I'm gonna focus on a couple more humorous games. Expansions both for Beastie Bar. I don't know if you played that from Zoc.
I have not.
You have not? You have to play that game. It's kind of guillotine, but the whole concept is you're trying to work your way up to the front of the line for the club, and you're all different animals. And it's Beastie Bar, New Beast in Town, trying to make it in the club. And then the other expansion coming out, this one's from Czech Games, is the Prodigals Club.
I saw that. Yes.
It's the expansion for Last Will, but it's also a standalone game, which I think is really cool.
When you were like, have you played Last Will? I was like, no. I did look at this, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. That is my number 4.
Awesome. My number 3, I love this game. Love this game so much. Kemet. I have been long awaiting this expansion. Kemet Taseti, T-A-S-E-T-I.
Yes.
Has a new pyramid color. So there's 3 pyramid colors in the game already: offense, defense, and economy. And this adds a new one with new power tiles. But from what I understand, from what we've talked about before with some of my friends and what they know of the expansion, is that you still have to choose. You can only have 3. So now it's not like, oh, you get another one and now you can have all 4.
Nice.
You got to choose.
You got to choose which one to let go.
Yep. You got to choose one to let go. And it also introduces a new game phase, which is the Dawn phase. And so I can't wait to see what happens at Dawn.
I love how excited you are for this.
I'm so pumped.
I remember when it came up in discussion in our Gen Con video and you almost lost your lid. So I'm excited that you're still, you survived to now. And hopefully you'll get to play it soon. My number 3, I'm going to package, again, a couple small, very, very teeny, little baby expansions, almost promo-ish. One is for Hanabi, and it's called the Die Bonus Platin. I don't know what's the deal there, but I love Hanabi, so I want to try that. And the other little one is for Citrus. new landscape tiles, and that's designed by Jeffrey Allers, one of my favorite
I've
designers.
been wanting to play that game.
Yes, super high on my list of want to play Citrus, so now I'm just going to play Citrus with new landscape tiles. And name drop, because, this is how I am. This is how I roll. I will be hanging out with Jeffrey Allers. I've already made plans to go for dinner with Jeffrey Allers at Essen. So we be balling. And
I don't know if everybody could see the eye roll there.
Whatever. You just jealous.
I am so jelly. I'm citrus jelly. I'm orange jelly.
Orange jelly right there. Yeah. So that's my number 3. And shout out to Jeffrey Allers.
Hey, Jeff. Do you call him Jeff? Jay? Big J?
Big J. Big J in the house.
My number 2 is The Castles of my man, Mad King Ludwig, and his secrets.
The secrets.
It's by Bethia Games, and I have only played this game once, and it actually was only a couple of months ago, where most people played it like eons ago. Mm-hmm. And I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to building even crazier castles. I killed it at that game, totally crushed it, totally won, and I'm gonna just do that with my secrets too. So.
Boom. That would have easily been on my list, but I had so many. I was hoping you'd have that on your list. I have a couple more for a couple well-known games, and one maybe from a similar publisher. Bethia Games also has 5-star coming out for Suburbia. I'm very excited about that. And
is it like
what's that?
Is it like 5-star hotels?
5-star. That's just because that's how I roll. And then, well, really, I like 6-star. But beyond that, also a well-known game that I'm really excited about having expansion for is Power Grid. And Power Grid, not only is it going to be an expansion, but it's adding a modular called the Stock Company so that you can integrate a stock game into your Power Grid experience. Yeah, I already love Power Grid. Let's make that happen.
Let's make that happen. I haven't played Power Grid in a long time.
Mm-hmm. So that was my number 2, right?
Yes, my number 1 is just a little baby number 1, and I love this game also. Cacao Volcanoes. So I don't know how well. It's just 3 tiles.
That's all you need, though.
Volcano tiles that will replace the gold mines, which are straight victory points.
Yep.
And it's pretty cool. They make you get gold, but then you have to pay gold. And like my mind is kind of blown by this concept.
Yeah. It's going to get dangerous.
Yeah. So this one has like most of the tiles are no matter which side of it you touch, you take the same action. So in this one, depending on where you place it, 2 of the edges give gold, and then 2 of them you take gold. So that's a new thing, and I feel like that opens up a whole new world for the game of Cacao for other tiles to also be like that.
It's just the tip of the iceberg or the tip of the volcano.
Just the tip.
My number 1, I got them themed. I lined this up on purpose when I was looking and scrambling last minute, rearranging and pairing them. Mm-hmm. So my number 1 pair of expansions, train themed. That's right. We got Russian railroads, the expansion German railroads, and we got Ticket to Ride expansion number 5, the UK and Pennsylvania. I already said that I love me UK, so that's an obvious.
Yeah.
And it's my wife's favorite game, so I finally can play a new map because I've played every other map a million times.
Really?
I need these maps.
You need that ticket. You gotta ride. You gotta keep
bringing
on that ride, baby.
Keep giving me new maps. I need them. I desperately need them.
You should make your own. Do player created. We have the Mario creative.
I don't feel like that's acceptable to Alan Moon.
Level. You gotta make one.
Alan Moon.
I'm gonna make one.
I need Alan Moon's permission.
No, I'm gonna make a meeple map for you.
All right.
I'm gonna do it.
Well, I'll still get Alan Moon's permission. And yeah, and then Russian Railroads is a wonderful game. Hans and Gluck,
German
obviously,
railroads now.
and now they got German railroads. So
Yep.
so those are my expansions that I had to give a shout out for. So
That seems logical.
yeah. So are we at the big
We are at like things that I have already ordered, or I am begging my Essen friends, begging my friends that are going to Essen.
You gotta get some new friends.
Do you get me? I need to get nicer friends.
Well, maybe you should have just
friends that are more generous and kind.
Well, yeah, that's true. If there's a chance, I'll see what I can do because I am coming to BGG-Con.
So this one is on my personal want list. This is number 5 because there's actually a lot that are on my personal want list, but I put them elsewhere. But these are like for sure. Yeah, I want these games
for sure.
Deluvia Project by Alexander Garcia, published by Spielworks.
That looks awesome.
Dude, it looks so cool. So you're building like a city in the sky because the planet is overpopulated. Like
this is our future.
Earth is overpopulated. So we're like, dude, where else are we gonna go? We gotta go up. You're constructing these cool like sky cities. So it's like tile placement, but it's in the air.
Oh yeah. Sky cities. You got me. Yeah. Boom. You had me at Sky Cities.
Yeah. And I've only seen like prototype-ish stuff.
Same. I'm sure it's gonna look even better.
That is my only concern. I'm like, how's it gonna look?
That's fair.
But as long as it plays okay, then I'm good. But it would be great because I'm envisioning like beautiful sky cities. It would be great if there was something to match that.
Yeah. I wrote 10 again because I couldn't limit myself, but I'm gonna just say 5.
You can't help it.
And then at the end, I will run through my other 5 honorable mentions. Okay. But before I even go there, number 11, I'm going to mention this because if this was coming out, this would clearly be everyone's number 1. Do you know what that is?
If it is going to be coming out, it's going to be everyone's number 1.
Yeah, it would have been.
I know what mine is.
What if it was coming out? I'm saying Conan.
Oh, okay.
That would have been like people would have lost it.
They would have lost it. They would have lost something.
They would have there would be droves of people.
They would have lost friends probably because they would have been fighting.
People would have gone Conan on each other.
People would have been like trampled.
Trampled
deaths.
There would have been trampled deaths, and because there's like a million designers on it. It's by Monolith, but really that's just secret code for Asmodee. And which is everything. And then they went crazy and like made 1 billion awesome miniatures in this awesome war game that everyone's waiting for. So
I'm just expecting the box. I don't know how big it is. I'm just
yeah.
The box is actually it's the size of actual Conan.
Yeah. I want it to be that the box says you cannot lift yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's just a rule. Like legality wise, you have to send in a disclaimer thing.
Crush your foes and hear the lamentations of their women. That's what's like on the box.
Nice. Well done. All right. So my number 5 is My Village by Inca Marcus Brand.
Your Village?
Yeah, My Village. Because I played Village many times. I enjoyed it immensely. And then I needed a dice version of it. And so My Village is not an easier dice version of the game. It is a totally different Village game experience using dice. It takes just as long. It's not like it's a faster way. It's just a totally different way to play. And it's super fun. I played it 3 or 4 times already. I love it. I'm going to be teaching it at BGG-Con. My Village, number 5.
I like it. My number 4 is by Homo Sapiens Lab, designer Jesse Lee. So this is like my second Jesse Lee game on this list here. And it is Ponzi Scheme.
Ooh. I've been curious about this, but I don't know anything about it.
3 to 5 players. My favorite mechanic that's listed for it is called commodity speculation.
I love me some
So, like,
commodity speculating.
is that really a commodity?
Mm, mm,
So obviously you guys are all pulling off like money scams.
love
I
it.
love that. I don't know why I love that. That's not fun. I do not condone modern day.
In games, you do though.
Yeah, in games I do, but in real life, keep it
In
clean.
role playing, you do.
Yeah, and role playing in this game, but in real life, don't do that.
Don't do that.
So yeah, this game looks really cool. It's a little bit out of what I feel like is my comfort zone because I'm not like an embezzler and like an inside investor. Like
Really?
I don't do those things, but
Nobody's watching. The IRS is not watching right now.
no, but I'm actually supremely interested in this, and it came highly recommended from several friends that I trust. So this one, for that reason, I'm trying to find a copy. It's like nowhere to be found to pre-order. So we'll see.
Awkward.
Yeah.
My number 4.
Are you saying that because you like already secured a copy? You jerk.
No. I might know someone that I'm muling for that has secured a copy. So no, I don't.
If it's who I think it is.
No, I'm just kidding. My number 4. My number 4 is actually probably many people's number 1. I am very excited about playing this. I have specific people in mind that I'm going to play this game with. It's from Z-Man. It's designed by Matt Leacock and Rob Davio. That's Pandemic Legacy. I am very excited, but it just couldn't break into my top 3 because my top 3 are that incredible.
Yeah.
But Pandemic Legacy, I am thoroughly excited. It's going to be phenomenal.
I am like skeptical about legacy games. I will play it and I want to play it, but it's not on my absolutely gotta have it right now list. I want to check it out.
I basically will buy every legacy game that Rob does.
I love Rob.
I'm not gonna support the imitators.
Yes.
A true legacy game is a Rob Davio game.
Yeah, I love Rob Davio. But I have like 8 friends that I know that are going to purchase it also. Yeah. So that like
you're gonna play it.
Yeah, that weighs in on my like, do I need to purchase that game or not? My number, what am I on? 3? Yeah.
3.
I am gonna say, well, we'll toss this one out, and I'll just say this, and I'll say another one. Actually, I have 2 that I can toss out.
This is what you do. Say your number 3, then we'll say all our honorable mentions, then we'll say our top 2.
Okay. Well, okay. These are going to be eliminated though, so then I'll only have 1. But I will say.
Make sure you have 2 left.
Okay.
This is your 3.
Okay. I will say Porta Negra.
Oh.
My number 3.
Oh, nice.
I love me some Stronghold. I have a lot of Euros here in my pre-order list.
Yeah.
This being one of them. So I've been excited about this game since Steven told me about it and that it was coming out, and I kind of checked into it and tweeted about it a while ago and was like, "What's up? What's the deal? This game is good?" ? And a ton of people that I trust again were like, "Yeah, this game is cool," and I looked into it. Worker placement, simultaneous action selection. It's a great combination for me. It translates to Black Gate, and we are Roman architects, and so that's like a weakness of mine. I'm like, it's not even fair when they make these games about like engineering and architecture. Because I work in engineering, I'm just like, I can't even. It's like I have to buy it. You can't. I just have to. Because I love doing that stuff. I love what I do for work, and I love doing that in my games too. So
what's the designers' names of that?
Michael Kiesling and Wolfgang Kramer.
That's right, Kramer and Kiesling. I said they'd pop up again in my list. That's right, they're my number 2. Porta Negra. I was one of the people that was first to play this game in North America. It is awesome. And I'm happy to say that I got to teach this game to a variety. Come on, don't be hating.
I'm not hating. I'm loving.
I got to teach this to a few different publishers, and all of them were very interested in acquiring the rights. I'm very excited that Stronghold got it because I know it's going to be top notch. Not that it wouldn't have from the other publishers as well, but Steven does great games, and so that's my number 2. So I still have 2 games left. Stephanie still has 2 games left. I'm curious, are there any games that kind of were floating out there you didn't know where to put them, or
there's one.
One? Okay, so you got one, and I got a handful that I got to give shout-outs for. Why don't I give a shout-out to a few? Oh, no, you give yours, because for sure, I don't want to double it.
I'm not. I have my 1, and so we're saving that one, right? Or should I say my number 2?
No. So you got your 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, I have my 1 and 2. And then I have like 1 that was already mentioned, and then an honorable mention.
Okay, so honorable mention and the one that's already mentioned. Give those.
Okay.
Give those some more.
The one that was already mentioned is 504, which is another Stronghold game.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. It is a personal one, and I will be grabbing that probably at BGG though. So I'll be waiting to get it, but I will get it.
Yeah.
The other one is one that I had heard some buzz about actually earlier in the year, but haven't heard a lot here lately. It's Nippon, Nippon.
Oh yeah, the Japanese.
I don't know how to say it because I've seen it tweeted about and stuff.
Yeah. That's supposed to be a heavy.
Yeah, I think Rado did a thing on it, and then I think Heavy Cardboard did talked about it a little bit too.
Yep.
It's by Nuno Bizarro Cintiero and Paulo Soledad.
Yep.
And published by What's Your Game. So this one it's kind of another Civ game, but it's supposed to only be 90 minutes.
Yep. If they didn't lie on the box, but even if it's like 2 hours, I think it's gonna be awesome.
Well, yeah, because I think of Civ games as like 5 hours long.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2, 3, 4 hours, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Those are both obviously amazing game options. Yeah. One that I've never actually played, and I thought you were actually gonna say, and I'm sure you're gonna kick yourself because you would say
if it's my number 1, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh really? Oh no, now I'm scared.
I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna say Between Two Cities.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's cool.
Isn't that so? Like, oh yeah. That's not out yet.
No,
it's coming out at Essen.
So I backed it on Kickstarter.
Right.
So that's why I'm
excited.
I don't think of it as like an Essen release. It's I'm gonna get that game.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a personal one. It's a personal get. It's personal. I already got it.
And that's why it was like bubble for me. I couldn't actually include it, but I wanted to include it.
Yeah.
Another one that's kind of like that, Spirit of the Rice Paddy.
Yeah, same. Also back to that.
Philip DeBarro. Another one in that category, The Networks. Gilhova.
Also backed.
Yeah. That's why I was sure. So we didn't
Yeah.
I knew you'd respect all these.
For
and
sure.
then Thunderbirds by Matt Leacock.
I did not back that. I thought about it. It was out of my budget at the time.
I felt like I had to give that a shout out because I'm pretty sure that's Sen's number 1 Essen game.
Yeah.
So I needed to give that a shout out. And then last but not least of just the shout outs before we say our last 2 that we each have. This is a remake, but Elfenland. That was designed by Alan Moon, and they now have compiled them all together, Elfen Gold, Elfen Roads, Elfen Sea, all into this remake. It's beautiful.
Cool.
And I'm very excited about getting it. It's from Amigo publisher who got the rights to redo it all and pimp them out. And so that will be an instant buy for me, but it's not really the same because it's it's a remake.
Yeah.
All right, so your number 2.
My number 2 is a 2-player game that I am looking forward to playing. And it's super cheap too, because I think it's going to be like $20 in the States. Seven Wonders Duel, you already mentioned it.
Boom, Duel.
Bowser and Cathala. Technically, you can play Seven Wonders with two people.
Technically, but this is better.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet. A friend of mine actually just got to play it, and she says it's really great. Loves it. I love Seven Wonders.
Mm-hmm.
If I can condense that into a $20 30-minute game where I play with just one other person, then I am a happy girl.
Yep. And I think it's actually going to help recruit people to Seven Wonders because people are going to play it as a 2, and then they'll be like, oh, let's get other people to play. And all of a sudden, it's going to bring Seven Wonders back off the shelf again. Because I feel like I haven't got my Seven Wonders off the shelf for a while, and this is going to kind of revive people's interest.
Yeah. The only reason I have is it's on my friend's 10 by 10 list. So.
Right. Nice. My number, 3, because somebody already mentioned my number 2. But my number 3 is Mombasa.
Mombasa.
And, that is designed by Alexander Pfister. I said he was going to come back up on my list.
You did say that.
He's the designer of Broom Service. He also did Isle in the Sky and a few other wonderful games. But this one's coming out by R&R Games, the North American release, and the European one is Eggert Spiel. I'll be teaching this and Porta Nigra at BGG-Con. Got to play this again with a few publishers and show them how it works, and I love it. It's a meaty game, but it's this weird game experience that you play 2.5 hours, and when you're done, you're like, no, let's play that again, like right now. Which
it would take a rare game to do that for me.
Yeah, I had that feeling with Porta Nigra and Mombasa, where I was like, you know what? I need to hit the bathroom. I need to get a snack, and let's do it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Snap. Let's go.
Yeah. A little Coca-Cola, and then
my game store has the real stuff, like the pure, the sugar cane. And
oh, I love that stuff.
Bottles. Yeah.
See, I'm too north for that. I'm too north.
You're so north. You are so north right now.
Yeah.
You are so north that you're on an island located in the Venetian Lagoon. Playing Burano, my number 1 personal life.
Oh, Burano! Nice. You know what's funny? We talked on Meeple Syrup about Burano.
And you didn't even put it on your list?
And I just didn't put it on my list because I was so like, oh yeah, you're going to cover that. But then I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, you knew I was going to put it on there.
But I totally forgot about it. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, we did talk about it a little bit on the Meeple Syrup show, so go check that out. I am pumped about this game and already pre-ordered it. You got cubes, giant cubes, and cardboard, and you're stacking cubes on cardboard. I don't know what the crap is going on with this game from looking at the pictures. I've read lots of descriptions about it. I haven't been able to find rules for it, but Rado does a run-through for it. I haven't been able to find final rules. Excuse me, let me say that. I haven't been able to find final rules. Rado does a run through of it, and I'm pumped about this game.
I was going to try to be funny and grab my Rampage box.
I feel like we like just totally are like Richard Hammond, like heavy cardboarded up. Like
we are fanboys, fangirls, and we just love everyone. So keep making great stuff that makes me spend all my money on games.
I mean, or don't. Like, I'd like to have some money, but
you know what? Or let's put it this way: game companies, send your games to them for free so they keep making videos. My number 1, anyone who has talked to me since April should know this, but they might not remember. My number 1 is Time Stories. That's right.
I meant to put that on my list.
This is going to be my game that brings me into role-playing. That's it. This is the game. This is the game I've been saving myself for. I literally have saved myself for Time Stories. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be beautiful. There's going to be candles.
It's just going to feel. It's just going to feel right.
Snacks.
It's going to see snacks.
I want you to call me when you're done, and I want you to let me know how it was. Okay.
Thank you.
After you have a cigarette or whatever it is that you're going to do.
The thing that I'm most the difficult decision.
I totally just time storied.
This is the difficulty: is who do I time story with? It's gonna have to be a very honored group. Yeah. Well, we'll time story at BGG.
Perfect.
All right.
I do have one last one.
Yeah.
This is it's sort of on my personal one in that I pre-ordered it. But I just kind of was like, oh, that's cool. That's good. And it says 5 and up, so this could have gone on my kids list. Animals Frightening Night. That is like a loose translation of.
Okay, I was like, that's kind of broken English, but I like it.
So you have these different animals, and it's a little bit like werewolf and stuff like that, where you have a bunch of different animals and roles, and I think you switch over rounds, but you basically don't want to be in. There's a forest and then an out of forest area. I think I'm trying to remember because I read about it, and then you like don't want to be with the wolf wherever you are. Like, and then the wolf gets points for however many animals that he like gets to attack because they're in like the forest with him or whatever, or wherever he is. And then the other people get points for not being with the wolf. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Like you could, so it's a little bit like, like Two Rooms in a Boom and like Werewolf and stuff like that. And it looks really cool. And I got it.
Bringing them all together.
Yeah, I was like, whatever, I'm just going to buy that.
Yeah.
There is one other game that I pre-ordered too. I guess I'll go ahead and say that one real quick. Black and White Sheep. Black Sheep and White Sheep. Went ahead and got that. It's by the same designer that does Animals Frightening Night.
Wow. They really got you. That designer just is singing your tunes.
He did get me. There was like a discount for getting both of them through the person that I pre-ordered it from.
Nice.
So that's why I went ahead and got those two. And they both looked really cute. So I don't know. I'm like, someone will like this game if I don't like this game.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. I want to say thanks to everyone for watching.
Thank you, seriously, for watching.
Yeah, and we hope this was helpful for you to do some of your Essen research or maybe post-Essen research of tracking down games. Keep an eye. You can follow Stephanie on Twitter at Insert Straw Here, and you can find me, Daryl Mandrews, or you can follow Maple Syrup Show. Also,
both.
Yeah,
all three of us.
And all three of us is possible. I hear you can follow more than one.
You can follow, yeah.
And then also, I want to just give a shout out for Nerd Nighters every Wednesday night at
8:30 Central.
8:30 Central
to 10 p.m. Central, and then at that time, hop on to the Maple Syrup Show, where it's designers talking to designers about designing games.
That's right.
With my man Daryl and Sen. That starts at, again, 10 p.m. Central.
Or 11 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, 11 Eastern, and then goes till for about, there's a separate show, which is the After Dark show, so it goes about 2 hours, I guess, an hour and a half.
Yeah, so that's us. Thank you so much. If you have suggestions of games we missed, add them in the comments.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear what we missed. I'll be shocked. Because obviously we covered all the games, but other than that, thanks.
Games in the Essen
and if you are at Essen, please say hi to me.
And don't say hi to me.
And if you're at BGGCon, then say hi to Stephanie and don't say hi to me.
Yeah.
Wait, no, yes. you can say hi to both of us.
No, you cannot say hi to Daryl at BGGCon. I'm just kidding. Say hi to both of us.
All right. So cheers. Have a great night.